Hey everybody, I'm back again. I'm still a little ticked off because nobody seems to be catching what's going on out there. So I'm going to fill us all in on the details of what's going on out there. Let's talk about a little thing called due process. Due process is a legal term. It gives everybody, everyone's entitled to due process. What that simply means is everything has a process in which it has to go through. And you're entitled to go through that process. If you're charged with a crime, you're entitled to your day in court to plead your case. You're entitled to an attorney. These are the things that's called due process. The Constitution gives everybody the right to due process. That's a constitutional right. That's not a right given by Congress. That's a right given by the founding fathers of our country. Because they said that's something that's important. Now the president doesn't feel as though migrant workers and illegal people who he terms as illegal immigrants. We're talking about, he calls them all illegal, so it's a loaded term. We're talking about people coming to seek asylum. He says they don't need due process. Just send them home. Just send them home. That's like saying, oh, this guy, he's a murder suspect. Don't give him a day in court. Just send him straight to the execution. We don't need a court. We don't need court. The police arrested him, so he must be the guy that did it. Well, let's look at the guys. Let's look at everybody who's turned out to be innocent. There's thousands of them. The courts are every day letting people loose out of prison for convictions that were wrongfully obtained because their due process was violated in one form or another. Due process has a lot of prongs to it. So the simplest way to consider due process is a hearing. You get to sit in front of somebody or stand in front of somebody who has decision-making powers and plead your case. You're pleading for asylum. You have the right to stand before a judge and plead why you need asylum. If you get sent back, what's going to happen to you? That's a good thing, I thought. But our president doesn't seem to think so. He doesn't believe in due process. Well, my guess is he really does, because he's actually going through a process right now. And he doesn't like that process. In fact, he wants to destroy the due process, the entire process. Can you imagine what would happen if every black man in America that was pulled over and given a ticket or arrested or killed for something, if they were to say, you know what, the whole premise of you pulling me over is illegal. So from that stand, it didn't matter what I had. And I could have had 100 pounds of marijuana in the car with me. But because the officer pulled me over because I was black, means that the entire investigation should go away. How ludicrous does that sound? When you put it in those terms, it sounds absolutely moronic. But this moron that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue thinks that that's a legal justification for him shutting down this investigation on him, because he feels like the entire investigation is illegal because perhaps one or two of the people who did the investigation didn't care for him. Does that make the whole thing invalid? What do you say? We all know white people don't care for us, but the police arrest us all the time. So does that mean all of those investigations are invalid? I'm looking for some feedback on this one. I actually like some feedback on this. Hit me up. Send a message. Tell me what you think. Because personally speaking, I think our president is full of crap. And I think everybody that works with him are full of crap. They're so victims. They behave like victims. We need to get more civil the president said on Twitter. Yeah, I said that. The president said we need to be more civil. As uncivil as he is, he wants everybody else to be civil. Or what it is he wants people to be civil towards him, regardless of how he is towards everybody else. Hypocrisy. Still ain't done with you though, Paul Ryan. Still not done with you. But I'm going to save you for another day because you deserve an entire episode. I'm going to dedicate an entire episode to you, Paul Ryan. You get a whole episode.
When you get in the area, let me know.
So, I'm done talking about these guys for today. It's just something still has to be said. You still got to keep talking. You can't let them off the hook. You can never let them off the hook. Always question authority. Always question power. Always, because absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. We have thousands and thousands of examples of that throughout human history. Whenever you give one person too much power, especially somebody who hadn't earned that power. Because make no mistake about it, Donald Trump didn't earn that power. If not for the Russians and reopening the investigation on Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump would not be president right now. He would not be the president if not for the help of Russia and a bad decision by the FBI in publicly announcing another investigation or an investigation on the same stuff that they've been investigating for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, if I remember correctly, she sat through approximately 12 congressional hearings on everything from Benghazi to God knows what else. The Republicans have been trying to railroad the Clinton family for a long time. And they found nothing. They reopened an investigation over the exact same stuff that they had already been investigating and found nothing new. But they had to say that before the election, that they were investigating her again. And that made a huge difference. That likely costed her the election. You know, that likely costed her a lot of votes. So let's talk about process and keep it in context. Because due process is something that everybody deserves. Hillary Clinton got her due process. She was cleared. And then for political purposes, the Republicans kept pushing and pushing and pushing to open and reopen her investigations. And for what? Just because it was political. They reopened the investigation and they found absolutely nothing. So I'm done listening to the Republicans. I'm done listening to them. All they can come up with is foolishness. So if you got something to want to say, send me a message. I'll respond to it. Don't be afraid to send a message. Even if you disagree. In fact, I would love to get messages from people who disagree with me. Because I think it's healthy to disagree with people. I think it's absolutely healthy. We all have a point of view. So, state your point of view. I'll be listening. Until then, take care of yourself and God bless.